Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some fun. It's time for Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to Fed by Farmers with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
That was beautiful into that there as well. Iona and I were just talking about like laughing, making you feel better. So I thought let's just get straight into the podcast like that. It sounds like the roof is coming down on us. The team are busy getting the last Christmas orders out because although today, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is out on Christmas Day. It's not actually Christmas Day because I would never pay Iona double time.
Triple time on Christmas Day.
Is that what folk are these days?
I
Is that
don't
what you
know.
are?
Well, yeah, that's what I am.
Yeah, no. I would never pay double time or anything like that for Christmas Day. So better just to take it
So
off.
where will you be today?
Today, as I sit here, I am actually in Devon. Yes.
How is it?
It's lovely.
Having
Very
a nice
mild.
time?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Really?
And what are you doing right now?
I'm just at the farm. I'm just getting downstairs, getting the presents opened.
Do you think anyone will actually listen to this podcast on Christmas Day?
Yes, I do.
Because farming never stops.
Farming never
Exactly,
stops.
which is why we're putting out on Christmas Day. Shout out to all our farmers who are out there working, whether you are milking cows, checking yows, or something else that rhymes with ows, then good on you.
Yeah. What will you be eating? Are you turkey, traditional?
Well, I'm hoping they have goose.
I've never tried goose.
Neither had I until a couple of years ago went down to Devon and yeah, I've been there a couple of times, but that was Angus was born last year. Year before went to Devon and they had goose. And it's brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah,
What's it
brilliant.
like? Is it quite gamey?
Yeah, good question.
Or is it like white meat?
It's a kind of, oh now you've got me. It's a kind of dark coloured meat.
In my head it would be dark, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's darker now. I can't remember. I just remember thinking goose wouldn't be that flash and then thinking goose is class.
You're really into the rhymes today, aren't you?
Inna. Rabbi Burns 2.0 here. So, yeah, in today's podcast, of course, we have the legendary, my hero, James Nisbet is going to be on. Now, for anyone who doesn't know James, I'll give you a bit of an introduction to him before we get into this, because I suppose we're falling into a Q&A session here where we're going to talk nonsense for half an hour. And it is Christmas Day. I want to go on and get my dinner. So, for James Nisbet, for anyone who doesn't know, James is a beef and sheep farmer in Ayrshire. His family also own a butcher's, J.M. Nisbet and Son, which is booming, very popular, with restaurants, but very popular in the farming community as well. But yeah, James will tell you a bit more about it in the podcast, how many sheep he's running, how many cattle he's running, massive numbers, massive handling. He's got his fairly small team, but he is a beacon of positivity.
Yeah, he is.
He's quite nervous actually in the interview. The interview about Ochiltree, he was quite nervous because I think he's maybe worried because this podcast now is getting a bit of traction, especially after Alan's podcast, the amount of feedback I've had from that. But it's getting a bit of traction now. I think Jamesy was maybe a wee bit worried because he just says whatever he thinks and it's a laugh. But he was definitely having a wee thinker before he spoke.
Yeah.
So that he was a wee bit different than we're used to, but it's still fantastic.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy this one. Without further ado, let's get started. So here we are, James Nisbet. James, it's great to have you here.
Hey, hello. How you doing? Good to be here.
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Good, very good. Good. Just working away, just enjoying this winter weather. Is that right?
It's funny how you just go to the weather, isn't it?
Aye.
Yeah, folk just do that.
Yeah, but are you enjoying it?
No, I hate it. It's been hellish.
It has been terrible this last
Wet.
But which is a good band, and we'll get on to music choice in a little while. But first of all, what's the big work just now?
We're just kind of busy getting calves clipped, getting calves getting sold in January, so just getting calves all tidied up and before.
Is this fresh weaned calves?
I freshly weaned in October and they've come in the shed, they've all taken pneumonia and now they're getting over it.
And have you lost anything? Have you lost any calves?
Of course not.
No, of course not. Mate, this is what we're honest here.
No, I've definitely lost a few, yes.
Oh, you have?
Aye.
Oh, right, okay. So
It's been a tough, I must just picked up a wee virus in the shed and, it's went through every shed, but we just part of farming,
Right. Well, listen, I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about cattle, so you can actually just pick this up off the shed. I thought it was to do with the weather.
I think it has to do with the weather, but I think like even like a wee bird could even just bring it in a wee virus I've picked up at the neighbour's farm, and then it comes in through our shed, and each calf just gets it. So
Right. So it's the neighbour's fault you get pneumonia.
I'm going to blame the neighbour. And then like I think even just with like me getting into the shed, my wellies on, I think I pass it around each shed.
Honestly.
Really?
Yep.
Would you get wee mats, wee disinfectant mats?
Well, aye.
Bit of a faff.
That was a wee bit of a faff in that, but aye, it's
Opposed to
probably what
losing
we
a few
should do.
calves.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that what you, right? Okay, that's interesting. Is that what you do at Dumfries House? Do you have like
Disinfectant
disinfectant
mats?
Right. Okay. Aye.
it is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like you jump from pen to pen and think it's all going to be fine, and it comes like it's actually away now. But it came within a day, and then stayed for a fortnight. Then it's away again. It's just like you seem to get a wee.
Well, I know with sheep it goes through in like waves, doesn't it?
Yep.
You know, you can lose
Yep.
2 or 3 at once, or I've heard stories of people losing 10 plus, like just overnight.
Nah, I
with
know.
it coming through. But so it's the same with cattle.
It's just the same as calves. Aye.
And how do you treat them?
You're trying to just jag them with 2 or 3 things from the vets.
Are you jagging everything, or just as
no,
you see
just
it?
just as you see it.
Right, okay.
But like some you'll know seeing that something that was happening quite quick in that, you know, just get where it just takes its turn, you know, it just takes its course.
Yeah.
I spoke to the vet and they said you just have to let it take its course and it'll come and go. So, you know, after they get the virus, that's they're immune to it. I think the cattle were too, like, the cattle that ta'en it were actually away in a bit of ground that would never march with any cattle.
Okay.
And I think they were too clean. So they wouldn't be resistant to any type of viruses.
So it's like town kids versus farm kids.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Or all of us coming out of COVID, catching everything.
Yeah. All of a sudden they're being like subjected to all these
It's
viruses.
very similar to, you know, similar to that.
And how many have you lost?
9.
9.
And how many cattle do you run?
There's about 450, 460 cows. So there'll be maybe 400 calves kind of running in now. So
Jesus,
it's
mate.
probably
That's
not.
a big outfit.
It's probably not a lot, but it felt like a lot, you know, because you're just, you know, and that's not including the vet bill. You know, to be fair, the vet bill could be another 3 or 4, 5,000 probably just in medicine. And then there's a
And
lot.
plus, and what value are those calves you're losing? Like,
easy,
what would you
easy
expect?
counting £1,000 a calf.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's 9 grand plus the 5 grand, so you're 14 grand down just through a bit of bad luck.
Just a bit of bad luck. Just a bit of bad luck.
And,
You know,
that's, and that's farming.
Because last year, you know, I'd lose maybe a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year's just been
One of those years.
400 calves, that's quite a big
Aye.
handling. Oh, what breeds are you running?
mostly Charlies. A few Anguses, but mostly British Charlies.
And why them?
Just to put on the weight, the you know, it's all about weight. Weight comes to money, whether it's in sheep or whether it's in cattle. You know, it's all about weight. So the Charlies can put on a big weight gain, really quick weight gain, quickly.
But by the same token, will it be harder to calve?
They say that, but I don't think that was back in the day. They would be hard to calve. Now, I don't. I think the Charlies is as easy a calving bull as there is. You know.
Do you mean now that we now have caesareans? It's a lot
No.
easier?
Just merely because we know we've got maybe there's more figures, so folk have actually been kind of watching the calving. You know, we have been kind of going down easier lines. You know,
Yeah, okay.
kind of like keeping out easier lines and.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know by that, you mean like your EBVs,
Yes.
you're looking at them pre-sale,
Yep.
and they'll be scored on their
Yes.
ease of calving.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aye, that's
So is that your preference in a bull then? Or one of the things you're looking for?
easy calving.
Aye.
Yes, but you know what it's like. I say that and then I'll go there and I'll go, I really like this bull in that. The bull I bought last February, it's got the worst calving record there is. I really
Okay.
liked him. So I'm not done any calves off him yet. So
You're still
we'll
a farmer.
find-
You're
we'll
still a
find it.
traditional farmer at heart.
You still need to go for what you like.
Yeah. So, okay. So you won't be getting into some of these extreme performance recorded type sheep yet?
And no,
No. Still Suffolks?
Suffolks.
Okay.
Texas.
And tell us a bit about, you know, we've jumped right into talking about these calves with pneumonia, but actually tell us a bit about your farming business. Like, what are you running?
I've got 450, 460 breeding cows, which mostly go to the Charlie bull. I bring in 100 heifers every year, which gets kind of 6 weeks with the bull. They'll go to, a wee few of them going to Angus. Again, most of them are going to the Charlie. And they're calved kind of March, April. And they get weaned October, November. So hopefully to sell January, February, March. That's the plan with the cattle anyway. And the sheep, there's about 1,600 ewes altogether. There's 400 Suffolk cross shells, which will lamb in February to the Texel tip. And there'll be the rest are all kind of Scotch mules that'll go to the Suffolk tip, which a lot of the ewe lambs will be sold to people to breed with, and I'll keep some myself in that.
And how many acres are you running?
But all my land's rented, so I've got where I stay at Orchardton, there's like 600 acre. There's another 300 that's on mains. Then I've got a kind of hill bit that's 2,000, but it's a forestry commission bit, so like it could go for planting at any time. It could go any time. Like, I thought I would have lost it last year, but you just...
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a forestry commission bit up at Darvel, and it's just gone this year. So, and I initially took the lease for 2.5 years.
Yep.
And I ended up getting it for about 5 years.
Well, that's me had this bit about 3 years now, and I think I'll have it to next back end. But it's just or next back end. But you just go, take the gamble. Farmers love a gamble.
Yeah, gambling on putting stock in it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then what's the plan if it then does go to forestry? Would you need to, if you couldn't get another bit, just sell?
Probably need to sell some of the cows and the sheep, but there's usually always bits coming on, and hopefully, I have put the numbers up, so hopefully maybe one day I might be in a position to try and like purchase a bit, I think maybe the tree thing has calmed down a wee bit now, and the farmers can maybe kind of half compete with the forestry to buy land now, so well, we're hoping that. So.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're starting to see it easing a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe interest rates starting to bite a bit as well. I mean, the big thing with me losing my bit, and you'll be in the same boat, is the subsidy. Because now I've got 120 acres, and it's really, that was my entire subsidy for me, was that forestry bit. So it was 120 acres that I claimed.
Yep.
That now next year I'm going to have 120 acres of entitlements and nowhere to claim that on.
Should you do a wee summary of what a subsidy is, just for people who don't know?
Yeah, so the kind of thing I'm talking about just now is the way the system works in Scotland. I'm not really sure how it works in England, is that we have essentially the land is split into 3 different regions, 1, 2 and 3. And depending on what type of region land that you farm, you are given a payment. So region 1 land, which all of my land is, a lot of yours will be region 3 at that 2,000 acre bit, is it? Or is it all region 2?
Region 1.
All region 1?
Well, half region 1,
Some
half
hill
region
farm.
2.
Some hill farm. So region 1, folk will be doing quick maths now. Generally speaking, region 1, I'll be getting about £75 an acre, somewhere about that. And then you get a thing called LFAS on top for that bit of ground I got LFAS, which is less favoured area support scheme. And essentially, if you're in a difficult kind of area to farm because the ground isn't very good, you get an extra wee bump. Although that's LFAS is a funny one, because there's a lot of areas and good farms come under LFAS that you're like, it's hardly a less favoured area. It's a kind of, I think as we spoke in the previous podcast about them reforming the subsidy, I think LFAS will be one they'll certainly have a look at. And they'll tighten that one up a little bit. So all in, I would be looking about £80 an acre for the subsidy on that. So it's about £8,000 it was worth to me, or £8,500 thereabouts. And obviously 2,000 acres worth a lot more to James. But that's... The difference is that was my first bit of ground, so I got those entitlements for free.
Right,
It's
okay.
the first time you claim for it. It doesn't know the first time you claim. If you're under 40 years old, you get your entitlements for free out of the National Reserve. It's a really messed up system it's a kind of really, somebody's just made it really overcomplicated. I was speaking to somebody the other day that said, actually, if they just never brought in this buying entitlements, then they could have just gave them all out for free and just gave them to people that are actually claiming. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you get a bit of ground that can be claimed, you just go to them and say, I need to claim this. They dish them out, because entitlements are there for every piece of land. So we're getting into quite complicated stuff now, but essentially for you though, because you'll have already had your entitlements, you'd have had to stump up for 2,000.
Yeah, so
it's not all pure profit.
I bought the entitlements, but I didn't know how long I was going to have I didn't know how long I was going to have the thing for, so I just did a gamble. I wasn't going to make much money the first year, if you know what I mean. Very little. But then now, because I've had it I'm going to have it for 3 years.
Yeah, you're ahead now.
I'm actually going to be ahead now.
Yeah.
So, which is quite nice.
Of course it is, of course. But it is a big risk. I mean, to take 2,000 acres on a seasonal lease, like you had, you could easily get your fingers burnt and lost a lot of money.
Yes.
Plus, you bought the stock for the place. It could have been a disaster. Thankfully, it's not worked out that way. But that's a private equity. That's not Scottish Forestry, that one.
No, it's a private one. It's a private.
Yeah, so
private.
They're probably more likely to delay to see what's happening with carbon credits. Aye. So 10 years later, you'll still be there because if they're anything like the Scottish Government trying to work out how to do farmer subsidies,
Yep.
they'll still be.
They're getting a few windmills there now, so I'm just hoping that they kind of maybe just
Are they right?
leave me alone a wee bit and just...
They might just think, let's just fill this with windmills. The big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Aye. That's another good
Yep.
thing. We need to get somebody in that's a big windmill farmer.
Yeah.
You don't have any at home? No.
No.
Where does all your money come from?
Working hard.
Working hard, I like it. 400 cattle though, like it's you're turning over some money in that farm.
Aye.
Like cattle's just a huge turnover. Like you just said there, like $5,000 to the vet just for one incident.
Yeah.
Like your overheads must be insane.
Aye, they will.
No, but honestly, like you must just sit at night, like the money coming in and out like this must be wild.
Going out, but...
Well, it must be for feed,
Aye.
for vets, for medicines, for everything, even the sheep.
Yep.
Shearing.
Sheep
Not
shearing.
so much
aye.
shearing.
No, shearing's free.
Yeah, shearing's that's to be decided.
Aye.
Because he owes me.
Yeah,
just
balances
When are we ever going to
out.
sit down and talk about it?
Yeah, now.
Do you know, how much is it? Can someone please tell us how much a bag of 2010, was it 2010 I got a bag
Yep.
off you? Yeah,
600 kilos.
600 kilo bag. There you go.
Yep.
Someone let us know how much that is, please, so we can get squared up. Like, you have a butcher shop in the business too?
Yep. My dad, he kind of runs the butchers and shop. He's in charge of it. So that's
When did that start?
he would come off a dairy farm, which would be where actual Cammy's thing is, like his
Unit.
This would be a part of Magby Hill, which would be my grandpa's farm. So it would be a dairy farm, and there'd be 4 brothers, and there was no work at home. So my dad went into work at McGarrity's in Kilmarnock, a butcher's, and learned it there, and then started there, and just worked away as a butcher for quite a long time, and then we get a chance to get Son Mains, but I'd only just be like 4 or 5, and he bought a few cows, and then just kind of reared some calves, and
So that's how it's built up.
That's how it all kind of started in that.
And did you go straight into it from school?
I went straight into the school.
Yeah.
I left the school when I was 15, and then went straight in, and that's been it. I like the cows, and I like the cows, and I like the sheep, and that.
Were you always going to be a farmer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yep. Aye.
I've heard stories about you as a wee boy
Right.
that you're just mad into it.
Aye.
Yeah.
I love cows and sheep. Love them.
Cows or sheep though? What one?
Well, I was always going to go for cows, but then when I seen how big the sheep game got, I've actually started to quite like the sheep now. I'm thinking,
You're in the wrong game.
I was thinking these sheep are actually all right,
And interestingly, speaking about the sheep game, yourself, you were like one of the first farmers that we sort of did videos with, because farmers obviously have some not strange person, I knew most people, but if you come on and you start wandering about with a camera,
Yeah.
they get very nervous, because we've all seen these crazy PETA videos and the way things could be twisted if, even some of the things you see on This Farm in Life aren't very well edited, and it, it can show things in a bad light that aren't really
Aye, 100%.
a bad thing. Whereas James was just like, aye, have a laugh.
Fine, aye.
Yeah, it's fine. And the other thing was he would be on camera. No one else wanted to be on camera.
Because it's something new though, isn't it?
Well, that's it. But it's funny how like now people will ask if you're going to make a video. Like you get the camera out. Are we going to do a
That
video?
was just Snapchat back in the day. Snapchat.
It did start on Snapchat.
Aye.
Yeah.
How do you two know each other?
I don't know. I bought a top off you.
Aye, he bought a top off me and
Right.
said to take it home. I had no idea who this Cameron Wilson was. Just take the sheep home. Well, I think it was about 3 months later he came back for it, and that's how we met.
Oh, was it?
That's how
right.
we met.
That's right.
Was
I
just-
bought a top lamb.
Aye, a top lamb.
Really?
Aye, I remember that. And then, I probably was like, can you keep it? And do you know what the problem was? That was when I first started, and I only had one field.
Yep.
So I couldn't really I didn't have anywhere to put the top until I put them out with the ewes. So I just asked James if he'd keep them
Aye.
until
that's how we met.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
how
I
we
remember
met.
that now.
Aye.
I bought a blue lamb to go with. I think it was a bargain as well. Well, I was extremely hard up, so I think it was maybe like £160 or something. It was an absolute steal.
Aye, it was.
James was raging about it, and then I know you've told me this before. Actually, it's like you said something like you paid nothing for it, and then you came and asked me to keep it for 3 months.
Aye.
But that shows
So
what
that's how we met.
Aye.
That's how we.
That's right.
That's where the man started.
Remember that? Now? And then a bit of shearing and
Yep.
not the scanning.
No.
No, not the scanning.
Why
Bruce
not?
does the scanning.
Bruce
Bruce
does the scanning.
Aye, you've got to be loyal to your scanner.
Oh,
man.
aye.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yep.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want it anyway. But what is your thing? Iona says everyone's got a hidden talent. What's your thing?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe still to find it.
Is it Well, listen, you've had a successful year. That's part of the
Yep.
reason you're here. Let's talk about the things you've won, because this might be part of your hidden talent. So you won the Royal Highland Show with the commercial. Is it commercial cattle?
Commercial cattle. Yeah.
Commercial cattle. You won the Royal Welsh Show.
Yep.
You won Live Scott.
Yes.
Are we having another party?
No parties this year.
Nah, any point. Once you've won it twice, it's like
Yeah.
No,
old
I'll
news.
go for 3 times, then I'll have an art party.
I like it. 3 in a row. Yeah. So you won all these things this year.
Yep.
Didn't win the Welsh Winter Fair.
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't take the right in there.
Okay. Why? Why did
Because
you?
I was just aiming for the Scottish. If you're Scottish, you want to win the Scottish Winter Fair.
Okay, so
It's like-
it'd be too much to do both.
Yeah, well,
What's the difference?
after she won, she had to be sold. She's got to be sold.
Oh, really?
Right.
Why?
Can you give up your prize money if you don't? So they've got to be. It's just a rule. They've got to be sold.
How does it add up between prize money and what they sell for?
Well, this heifer made 9,800,
Uh-huh.
and there's about 2,000 in prize money.
So it was a good day.
So it was a good
okay.
day. Aye.
yeah. Well, that's your loss of calves basically squared up.
Yeah, one sale.
Right, one sale, one beast, and that's
Easy,
you.
yeah.
It's an easy game plan.
It's
I know,
just-
with
It's
Anna.
weird that more people don't do it.
It's just.
It is.
I know.
Like shh,
Just
don't-
printing money.
Do not tell everyone. Right, so you won these things.
Yep.
With this beast. You have 400 cattle of your own. You bought this.
I bought this.
Aye, why don't you just breed your own?
Because I breed a different type of animal. Like I'm just wanting to breed a good commercial animal. These ones that I'm showing are they're fancily bred. They take a bit of time. There is cesareans that are a wee bit harder. Where, like you could, if you tried to breed your own, you might get one. You can just go and buy something. I think maybe cheaper than you can breed it.
Oh, I would agree. It probably is.
Do you know-
How much did you pay for that? But does it have a name? We keep calling it this.
Starlight.
Starlight. That's a lovely name.
That's
lovely,
nice,
that.
that.
So you bought Starlight.
Yes.
How much did you pay for her?
4,800.
And when
4,800.
did you buy her?
I bought in March.
March, right.
At
Yep.
what age? What age?
She was be a year old.
So she's a year old. So essentially, just anyone can buy a beast to win the Highland Show.
No.
Where's the skill in it?
I don't know, just well, there's also a bit of luck. A bit of luck helps.
Everything in life.
But it's just trying to think how she could turn out. You know, like I bought another one this year, and she just didn't go the right way. This one just kept on going the right way. Well, as soon as I seen this heifer, I thought, this is a must.
Really?
Right,
This is
okay.
good. It was just something about this heifer. I just thought, this is a rating.
And see those farmers who are breeding them,
Yep.
are they also showing? Do they keep some to show?
No.
They
no.
just
they're
sell
just there to sell them. But to be fair, I don't think the man probably knew how good she was. Like
Okay.
when he sold her.
Okay.
And I got her home and I messaged the man saying, I think you've just sold an absolute gem. I think this heifer's really, really good. Like
Really?
better than a lot of folk, think she is.
And he's away with his $5,000 check, saying this guy.
I know, he's like loving it, thinking, aye.
Aye. Was that like the most expensive one on the day?
Yes, she was the most expensive one on the day.
Okay,
She
so
wasn't.
it's
She wasn't a champion. She wasn't a reserve. She was just. She won her class, and that was it.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. You just wait for the dearest one and buy it.
No, definitely not.
No?
No, I think it's just a wee bit of. As luck, I think it has a lot of luck, but it's just trying to make sure that out of
Everyone tells me you've got a very good eye for stock. Is that part of it?
Well, clearly.
Well, he's bringing in luck, and luck is a huge part. Luck is a
But
part
I
of
think that's
everything in
been
life.
slightly
like,
modest.
I think
Yeah.
it's a lot to do with the breeding. Like I always think, see when you see like with a show animal, it needs to have a good mum but a better granny.
Oh, I like that.
Bet that's what your Blackie boys say.
Like that.
Granny's amazing.
No,
Bet-
the Blackie
bet-
one,
aye.
they're all just out the best you in the farm.
Aye.
And that's, yeah, James just tells that. But you have bought a Blackie tup.
Yes, yeah.
So you're big into these commercial. You're winning prizes at Highland Show now. Is the next thing you're going to be showing Blackies?
No. I just think like maybe the bar looks good. I always try to look by the bar and think, oh, that looks quite good. And
James is talking about the Blackie bar at the Highland Show.
it always looks quite good.
The Stocksman bar, it's called, isn't it? It's not called the Stocksman's bar.
Where the marquee is, where they have the Blackie
Yeah,
bar.
next to the.
Yeah, the
feed. I think it's
Stocksman.
called the Stocksman's
I
bar.
think I might just enter something, not take it, just so I get invited into it.
Well, James, I've got to tell you, I think you just wander in.
Aye,
Oh,
just
do
come
you?
in,
Aye,
I get a lamb roll.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, they do a good
Well,
lamb roll.
I know what these Blackie boys are like. They'll draw me in. They'll be like fish.
Oh.
Next thing is I've bought a tip at 10 grand.
Aye.
A bit.
Especially a guy
A horn.
I've got a share.
Aye, I've got a share in this.
I've got a share in this top. So, you allowed to say how much you paid for it?
Oh, it was just £300.
300 quid?
Aye.
Ah,
It's a bargain, eh?
aye, that, mate.
He's in the best
winner.
gym. He's in the best gym in the flock, eh? So Kirsten says.
So, what's next for you
On what stage?
in the farming?
Well, we'll get the calves to sell in January, and then we'll be into lambing in February.
Who all works at the farm?
I've got George. George, he's worked. He would start working when my dad went to Saul Mains, which would be he's been there 35 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've got Martin. Martin came about 10 years ago. So both brilliant boys, the best.
They're good lads.
They're really
Are
good,
they?
really good.
Have you got any brothers or sisters?
I've got a sister. She married a dairy farmer, so big cash, loads of money.
Yeah.
Good call.
No sheep. No sheep.
Living the
Just
dream.
like
No offence to our dairy farming friends. We know you're hard up.
new tractor, new shed,
What makes more money, the farm or the butcher shop?
the butcher shop.
Yeah.
Does it?
More profit?
Yep.
Oh, aye. So how does that all work?
So
Sorry, very general question.
Like so, the sheep. It's always our own lambs we kill.
Okay.
It's always our own lambs that go into the butcher shop. Cattle will go at some time of the year. We can't like fatten enough, and my dad's quite particular on what he wants. He only wants the very, very best.
Okay.
You know where, like, sounds bad, but I've got the good, the bad, the really ugly, and the three-legged ones.
That's
So-
what you can call this podcast right here.
So he just wants to, and he wants to buy them at the right time. So that, like, they've got to be a certain weight. You know, he wants them not above 600 kilos dead, alive. Sorry, 600 kilos alive. So, you know, 350 kilos dead, 360 kilos dead. So
Okay. Is that not quite light?
Right, okay.
I thought cattle was finished cattle were heavy on that. Is that pretty standard?
butchers
600?
butchers will not go over 600. Not very many butchers will go over 600.
What? Why not?
Just because the size of the sirloin steak, like, you know, like the steaks get too expensive when they go bigger.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Smith will buy 2 steaks and just say they're £12. But they can go to Tesco and buy 2 steaks for £8. But they forget to say that, like, Jim Nisbet steaks were big.
Right,
And the Tesco's
okay.
like, you know,
Aye, they just see the
Oh,
value.
interesting.
Well,
So-
that's like someone did a post on Facebook about like lamb chops.
yep.
How like the size of some of the lamb chops now in the supermarkets, it's like ridiculous.
What, small?
Or tiny, yeah, but
Really?
they're obviously part of the reason they. And that there was a wee trend for a while. I don't know if it's still the same towards a lighter lamb.
Yep.
Probably for that reason you're
Yes,
saying then,
it will be.
because they make the cuts more
Yeah.
affordable.
Yep. It's more, it is, that's exactly what it is. Make it affordable.
And generally speaking, our finished cattle at 600 kilos.
The type we're buying, yes. There is a lot, like I'm breeding the Charlie cattle. Well, they would need to go to 700 kilos. They take a wee bit longer to finish. Where, like, my dad buy a lot of kind of limousines or Anguses, Limmy Anguses, which are easier and they'll finish. So yours are always heifers he buys, females.
Right, and there must be a trick in that
No,
too.
I don't think there is. I think you just, well, some butchers will only buy bullocks, some will not bother and buy both. My dad usually only buys
Right.
heifers. Don't know why. Don't know what the reason. I don't think there is a reason. I think they just quite like a heifer.
Aye, but that is strange to me. Like, surely you'd think you'd go where the value is.
You know?
Or does he not worry about value? He's just buying it.
It buys on what he can make money on. You know, it's like quality.
Yeah.
The same as if you've got a collie dog. Would you always have females or males?
That's a good point, actually. Dogs have females.
I see. I would always have females, but then some people always have males.
Dad always has
But
males.
there
He's
you
never
go.
had a female.
But the difference is, I'm always males, your dad. But, like, the difference is I'm not hanging the dogs up.
No, I know, but it's just always what we probably prefer.
Yeah.
Listen, it's very well respected, of course, the butcher shop. It's well known.
I know. It's
Is that a handy way to get rid of your dodgy lambs too?
no. Everyone needs to go to an abattoir and that. So, like, when that's any use.
Ah, right, okay.
It
So
would
to be
only
done.
be the best. It would only, again, the lambs have got to be like they want them 24, 25 kilos dead, so they
Yeah.
can heavier
Okay.
lambs than that. So
Yep.
no, it wouldn't. His customers wouldn't. They would know if it wasn't right. Like
Yeah, of course, yeah. And he has quite a big farming community, like, a lot of customers in the farming
yeah,
community.
yep. And he's got 2 or 3 wee towns he goes round. You know, Anne Bank, Mossbalone,
Restaurants.
Does a lot of restaurants. Aye, a lot of restaurants.
Is that where the money is, or where is the money in butchery? I don't even
Sausage.
I never understand.
Is
how-
it?
Sausage.
Is it?
Beef or pork?
Well, no, lawn sausage.
Oh, like sliced?
Is it?
So my dad always says. Maybe he just tells me that, but it'll not be in the deer cuts. It'll not be on like steaks and that. It'll be on the cheaper cuts of meat.
I always just wonder how butchers actually make money, because like, and they always seem to be doing all right. But I was like, you spend so much to buy the premium stock,
Yep.
and then you've got to turn that into a pound. Like, it always seems so difficult. And in the current economic climate of everyone trying to save money, well, not try to save money, but folk are definitely a bit harder up.
Yep.
So like going to the butchers would be the first thing to go. But a lot of his customers won't be impacted by that, eh?
No, a lot. I would say
If
like
you're buying meat for the butcher, you're still going to be all right.
a lot of his customers will be the older generation, like our kind of grands and grandpa age. You know, they'll be old. A lot of them are older.
So that is a worry going forward, isn't it? Because
Yep.
people are moving away from buying locally, and
But the thing is, like, you know, like if you think probably your gran probably never worked, because your grandpa would work and your gran would always be at home. Where now, like, can mums work? Like,
no, it's
you know,
awful. It's absolutely terrible. We're expected to go out there and make a pound.
I know. If only could have been born 30 years ago.
I know.
Wouldn't have to do all this. Seen and not heard. Yeah, so I suppose that's a factor. And in terms of the farming, then you're probably at your limit with ground, do you
Yeah.
not? Like,
Yep.
it's a big handling for even
Yep.
just you and Martin and Geordie.
Yep. It's just big enough, and that, you know, it's just, if we just sit there now just to see how subs go.
Yeah,
You know,
well, that's going to have a big impact on your business
Yep.
with the acres.
Yep.
And for next year, you obviously love the shows. You're big on the show scene.
Yep.
Was winning the Highland your biggest achievement in the shows?
Probably was the Highland Show. But I've showed at the Highland Show for, I think my first time I was there would be 1999, so that'd be 24
4 years ago.
and that was the first time I'd like won it. I've been reserve a few times, but that was the first time I'd won it. So it's not just something you can just go and buy a beast. Like, it takes years and years and years to.
There's a prime example of how you can't just go
No,
and buy them.
it
It's
takes
taking all that
you. It
time.
Yeah.
takes you years. You know, for years and years, I was always just like at the end of the lines, and then I think it was about 2011. I had a nice wee heifer called Little Boots, and she seemed to be the turning point. You know, I got 2 or 3 tickets with her, and she won the Young Farmers Rally. Then she was reserved at the Highland, and then, you know, you get more hungry for looking for.
One step up.
Yep.
And do you think that was you starting to really get your eye in?
Maybe getting.
I mean, you say
Probably was,
turning point.
but
It's
maybe
not.
the cattle have changed so much. Like, you've got to keep going with, probably same as the Blackies, you've got to go with the trend. You know, it changed. Like, for what a show animal looked like 20 years ago to now, it's for night to day, you know.
Oh, and again, talking about the Blackies, because I know more about sheep than I do about cattle, but you see like the old photos from the 90s, like what was a Highland Show winning blackface sheep to compared to now, and it's like, yeah, totally different sheep. They're a lot more kind of like Perth types, were they not? Like
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you know, they're very much tighter skinned and
No, so it's so has kind of changed. It has changed a lot. Like, things have changed. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe I've just been like, I've kind of found something I like. I always think, like, you should buy something you like. See, if you stand second or third with something you like, you're better standing second or third with something you like than standing first with something you don't like. I'm
aye.
like, I had a bullock a few years ago, and, you know, and he won a couple of classes. You know, I never really liked him. And it just wasn't the same, you know.
Didn't get the
Yeah.
buzz.
No,
Right.
where the
interesting.
heifer I had this year, I loved her. You know, and even I had a heifer last year called Moonlight, and she was third at the Highland, third at the York. She was third everywhere, but she ended up winning the livestock right at the
She
last
won
show.
air though, didn't she? That was the first. Did she not win air?
No, this is like one for last year. Moonlight.
Did she not? Did that not win air?
No,
Or
she was
it-
third. She was third.
Ah,
So, and I loved this heifer, but she was just third everywhere. She was just always third. Just, you know. So no, Starlight won. It won air show.
it won. Was that a 1 year show? Okay.
Starlight and Moonlight are half sisters, same father.
Right. Okay. So, let's give the breeder a shout out. Who's this fantastic breeder? That
Well,
is it two different breeders?
Two different breeders.
Ah, right. Okay. You just followed the line.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
So they came out of a wee market called Pateley Bridge in South Yorkshire, I think.
I mind you going to get
Aye.
this
Really?
because
So
you've paid a pretty penny for it, and I remember hearing and thinking. Oof.
I know, I was very excited in that. Very excited in that.
But the good thing, I suppose, you could have kept it. I mean, I take it she's going for breeding as much as it's
Yes,
commercial.
this
cat.
one last year's didn't. She didn't go for breeding. She went to a butcher. This year's went for breeding, It's went to James Alexander, the JLEX herd in Northern Ireland.
Yes.
So
They're big business.
a big business, big.
Serious.
Sells a lot of tractors, jeeps, into these pods and that now. So
Wow.
he's somebody you should speak to. He's
Definitely.
a good guy.
I follow them on Facebook.
Aye.
Like, they're always new stock on.
Yep.
And
Sells
like,
a lot of heifers.
very
and-
sharp looking stock. Like, they
Yep.
have a type they're obviously
Yep.
breeding towards. And yeah, so they
Yep,
obviously
no,
like
no.
it.
So that's where she's away to. So I'm guessing maybe take some embryos out of her and then we'll sell her in calf to some fancy bull and make a big penny on her, hopefully.
Well, interesting. But it blows my mind that one of these show cattle, how much did Moonlight sell for?
7,800
To a butcher?
to a butcher.
What? And will that butcher make that butcher will make that money back?
It was his 120th year in business, so it was just a wee
Right.
promotion. You know,
Oh,
he didn't actually put her away to after Christmas. He actually kept her to January because he was busy enough in December. So this wee, and it was a great, like, you know, he got a lot of new customers out.
Right, okay.
Brilliant. So it was within a weekend she was away because he kept her separate and really good.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you take some?
And no, I didn't take
No,
any.
too
She
emotional.
actually went to the local. She went to Alan Stewart's just next to you, Ken.
Is
next
that
to
who
you.
bought her?
That's who bought her last year. Yep.
Right. Just
Wow.
that's very. We're in Sturton just now, so that is literally
Yep.
300 metres away from this building,
Yep.
just down the high
Yep.
street there.
That's where she went.
Oh, good on him.
So
I'll need to stop in and buy something then to.
I think it was sold out for last year. but
No,
you
just to
know.
give them a boost though. I mean,
Aye.
like, good on them. Yeah,
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep.
It still blows. Would they make a profit out of that?
No.
No.
No, but they get really good
Yeah,
publicity.
Yeah, like long term.
Yep.
How much does a butcher make out of a 600 kilo heifer?
What would they make?
Yeah, what are you selling that? How much that at market that's going to cost you? 1,600,
No, she would need her 1,800.
1,800
1,800.
for the right 1,800.
Yep.
How much when you chop that up into steaks and mince and lawn sausage?
I think that they hope to make about 30%.
600 quid. Is that a good markup, Iona?
Yeah, I think 30% is all right.
I suppose it is. I suppose for all the work, what works in it, like
Yeah, and the farmer has to get money as well. Like, it has to be worth their...
the farmer will make less than 30%.
I don't think they were fed in
yeah.
that.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's like the farmer keeps it for 18 months and makes less than the butcher.
Yeah, but that's exactly it.
Yeah.
That and the same with supermarkets and
Yep.
all these things. And that is always the issue with farming, and we go on about it a lot in these campaigns. It's like the farmer's not rewarded enough for the
No,
fact he
no.
takes all the risk. You know, because
Loads
once
of
it's bought at the
risk.
market, once it's at the market, all the risk is over.
Yep.
Like, no, that's interesting. What about sheep?
I don't. I honestly, I wouldn't even really know. I think it was probably similar. But lamb is. I don't even think it would even be as much because my dad always says like he'll make half the year he'll break even with a lamb, a quarter of the year he'll lose his money in a lamb, and the other quarter he makes money. So he just breaks even in a lamb. But you're a butcher, so you have to sell lamb.
Honestly,
Really?
Yep.
That's mad.
But there were a few butchers that will not sell lamb.
because it's so expensive.
Just
So
too
why
expensive.
is that?
Just
Lamb is
it's
expensive,
very expensive.
Yeah.
isn't it?
I know, but why? You know, I wonder why.
I think it's just demand.
Aye, but I don't really know if there's a lot of people like eat lamb. Like I like lamb. And
I thought that part of our reason our strength here is because we have such a large Muslim community. Like that must be one of our biggest strengths here in the UK. Because a
Yep.
mate texted me from New Zealand who'd listened to the podcast and said they're getting £50 per lamb just now.
Is that what they're getting?
Yeah, we're getting 120 average.
Yep.
But if there's so much demand, why are butchers not making money?
But there's butchers here aren't making money. We have a
Oh, you mean for export?
if we say that the big draw is the Muslim community, which I think it has a factor in
Yeah,
lamb
yeah.
in the UK, absolutely does, and the fact we're so close to a large Muslim population in Europe through France and all these other countries, like that is a big benefit for us. But like we have a tiny Muslim community in Scotland. Like we don't have diversity in Scotland at all because there's nothing really up here for anyone.
No, that's true.
Even like the NHS side of things, I know it gets a bad rep, but one great thing about where we stay in Ayrshire here is anytime you go into that A&E at Chris House, which is our local,
Yep.
like you're seen hours faster than if you went to the Royal Infirmary in Glasgow. Like I remember going in there with a cut to my eye from a feed bag actually, and I tried to be a hero and go to my work in the police when I used to work in the police.
How did the feedback cut your eye?
The wind hit it and it just ripped across my eye.
Oh, like a really bad paper cut.
Aye, but I thought I'll be fine. It's like it'll heal. So, but it got so bad that my eye swelled up, and then because that one was so painful, I couldn't see the other one because it was streaming. So I literally couldn't see, and well, I could like barely muddle my way through. And so my mate for the work, the gaffer says, "Oh, away you up to the hospital?" So I was up to the hospital, and by this point, I'm like ready to beg, like I'm in agony. If anyone's ever had a cut to the eye.
In the eye.
I'm actual eyeball.
Oh, I thought you meant top it.
No, my actual eyeball, and it's like there's nothing you can do to take the pain away. And what folk don't realise is like your eye moves constantly. Like you can't stop it. Like if you think about it, it moves more. So I'm constantly rubbing this cut over, and the pain. And I goes up, and she says, "Oh, it'll be about 4 hours. Wait," and I'm like, no. It's like I can't. And I says to the lass that was working with me who drove me up, I was like, "You just run me to Chris House." I'm like, "Take me down there." And we drove down to Chris House, which is about 30 minutes away from Glasgow, into Chris House, in within 10 minutes. And they gave me this, anyone's ever had an injury, it's like a numbing drop. And see the relief, honestly. If she'd said to me, "I'll give you this, but it's £1,000. Oh, easy.
Magic.
They released this wee drop, and then I managed to convince her to give me a bottle home with me, because like you just wake up through a night in agony, a couple of drops, you could get back to sleep. I had to spend like a day in my bed, because I couldn't go anywhere because I couldn't see.
It's awful.
Because it's so bad. I know, off from my bag blowing up and cutting my eye.
How's your hair now? Don't get it out!
Actually, I have a hernia as well. Old age doesn't come. You ever had a hernia?
Aye, I've had a hernia.
Have you? Did you get an operation?
Aye.
How long did you wait for the operation?
I can't remember. I think I've had 2. I had one when I was a wee tiny boy, then I had one maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe longer. No, maybe more than that.
NHS was better back then.
Aye,
I'm just going to have to go private, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
You have to get an operation for it?
Yeah.
What do they do?
They put like a mesh in.
Aye, mesh, eh? It's all keyhole in most of it now, eh?
Oh, is it?
Aye,
Or
my
you-
mate get one and it's fairly well cut open, but I honestly don't care how they do it. It's just get it done.
Is it causing you pain?
Oh, yeah.
Aye, you need
all
to
day,
get it
every
done
day.
in that.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
It's like in my
dangerous.
Oh, is that
That's
what's
dangerous.
wrong with you?
groin. That's why I'm so miserable. This hernia. Yeah. No, it's these ailments don't come themselves, I tell you.
I'm just wondering how we got from butchering to hernia.
I know that's...
Bad-
We've not actually had many tangents tonight.
To a bad eye.
No, I know,
Like-
but that's the beauty of podcasts, eh? Especially us. We just veer off. Any tangents you want to cover? We'll talk about
Do you have
anything
any
here.
interests out with farming?
No, I don't think I do, no.
No. That's the thing about farming, isn't it? It's kind of all-consuming.
You wouldn't suit Iona. Iona's looking for someone with interests outside of farming.
Oh,
Well, we get through one podcast where you don't mention the fact I'm single.
I think it's good to just remind people, because there could be somebody watching that's like, oh well, I'll drop a message to the show. Podcast at fedbyfarmers.co.uk.
the Blackie bit maybe puts a lot of folk off. Blackie sheep.
Why?
It's one of those intimidating things. Like
Yeah.
your dad's John Murray. It's like, you know.
Oh, come on. My dad's not intimidating.
No, he's not intimidating, but it's a big deal. So it's like,
You know, Muirkick Mafia, you know. all
I
that
think
crowd up there.
most will just think they're not worthy. Like, imagine
Yeah.
you got to turn up at Chris Flat and
He sells a tip for 50 grand and
I know.
you're there with a wee Chinese in that.
bringing his lassie home, and
Aye.
it's like no. So I think that'll be the worry for a lot of boys. But we'll get into this. We keep saying Iona's on Bumble, and we're going to do a Bumble podcast where we look at our Riz. Well, and people know what Riz is now.
I was telling people about the Riz, and it's short for charisma.
Oh, is it?
Riz.
Your Riz, your charisma. Right, there we go. You heard of Riz?
No, I've never heard it.
No, neither that. But, well, I had, because it was on social media, but it's like Riz is like your chat.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do a wee podcast. You don't need to worry about that.
How's your Riz?
Aye, good.
Good. Mhm.
I would say that's James's his best feature.
But as
Your Riz.
Riz.
Yeah.
Good Riz.
Yeah.
or my hairline.
Maybe once upon a time.
I was thinking, you were saying like we're getting £120 for lambs, right? And Australia's getting what? £50? New Zealand.
New Zealand's getting £50 apparently.
So, but what's the cost difference?
Yeah, that
Good
will be a
question.
factor. But then the other factor is there's no subsidy. So that's to be taken into account. There's an interesting one for that. We do have actually quite a few New Zealand listeners. So if you could get back to us on whether you think you're ever going to go to war with China, as per my last podcast. Not my last podcast, that was 2 weeks ago now. I somehow got on a tangent of talking about how China's buying all this land in New Zealand, and if they ever go to war, it's a disaster. Won't happen. Anyway, you can tell us about that, and also tell us about your costs of production. How much does it cost you to produce a lamb?
I don't actually really know. It's bad, eh? I
Bad?
should know that.
I would have no idea. I know it costs me more than I make selling them, just because I'm in minus £52,000. I'm sitting at just now. So
I'm thinking every year will be different, eh? If you get good scan, if you get blackies, you're fine, eh?
oh, you're laughing.
Aye.
Oh my god.
Eat heather.
Even the old tups, the old useless tups, get sold for £300
I
in some
know.
mug.
Aye, but it's not the best show in the floor.
Love it. It's got Riz. It's got Riz. As soon as I
You
seen
can't
that
put a
top,
price on
as
Riz.
soon as I seen that top, I just seen it's
I
got
don't
Riz.
even, they just picked it for me and everything.
Yeah, well that's it. That's the perfect.
What made you want a Blackie top?
I don't know, I just thought it'd be a bit of fun, eh?
It's a laugh,
Yeah.
innit?
Aye, it's laughing.
It's a laugh.
They
It'll
look
get
like,
you into
they
the
look
bar.
like, they look like good folk, eh? The Blackie folk.
It's fun.
It's great. It's a great community.
Aye.
That is. They do have the best sort of parties and stuff. You know,
Aye.
stock judgings and sale evenings. You'll be able to get in the bar at Dalmally now.
Oh, aye.
What about they say that? Is it Fort William? They say it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
They
I've
say
only
it's
been
really
once.
good.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it was a poorer turnout this year. I was hearing that. I don't want to put a wee damp squib on it, but yeah, I had guys get back to Fort William. Keep
What
these
was the
traditions
bar
going.
like?
I'm sure it was bouncing.
Well, that's all I was thinking
Yeah,
about.
we do.
I'm sure that was bouncing. Yeah, I'm sure it was absolutely fine. Okay, so we'll see you in the Blackie tent next year at the
Yes,
Highland Show.
yeah.
We're going to do some podcasting from the Highland Show, I think.
Oh,
I
that'll
want
be
to
good.
get up on the stage, like the Sheeran stage in the evening, and do a live podcast.
Oh, that'll be good.
I just pick a subject and we'll talk about it, and we'll have a wee audience and we'll get some questions from them and see what happens. Good. So any other tangents?
No, I'm
What
happy.
not bad.
what does tangent mean? I don't even know what that even means.
It's some type of orange, I think.
No, you're thinking
Think tangerine.
Ah, yeah. So I'm
Tangent, like if you're kind of on speaking about something, but then you go off on a tangent.
All right.
Do you know
So
what
that
I
was a
mean?
kind of rant, no?
basically is. Usually it
Yeah.
is. Usually with me, it's just some sort of rant about something.
Something.
About wars and
Do you think there's going to be a World War III, eh?
aye.
Oh no, I
Aye.
don't like talking about that.
No, I'm only talking
Imagine.
about that. But there absolutely is going to be.
Do you
Of
think
course there
so?
is. Of course there is.
What do you think the cause will be?
Food.
Do you?
Yeah, food and
Shortage of food.
food and climate. Yeah.
Shortage of food.
Yeah, shortage of food probably due to the changing climate. Yeah, I think so.
How many years do you think it'll be?
Oh,
Few.
years and years.
Aye.
Like out with my lifetime?
Yeah, you won't
Oh,
see
that's
it.
fine. I'm fine.
Don't worry, you
Well, I
won't
see it.
No, you definitely. The bad
Remember,
thought.
I'm mid-30s. Just
Yeah.
mid-30s.
Oh, we never actually confirmed. What age are you?
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
What does that mean?
38.
37.
37.
That is mid 30.
Aye.
There you go. No, that's listen. We will see a war at some point, but you're right. We shouldn't dwell on it because we don't need to worry about it. It's more our
No.
grandkids, I think. James, thanks very much for coming in and having a wee chat with us.
No problem.
Great to get your insight on buying a winning cow
Heifer.
heifer. I'm terrible with all the terminology. I just want to say beast all the time
It's
because I think
complicated.
it is. Congratulations on your victories as well.
Thank you.
Very impressed, and it's nice because I know you. Anyway, thank you.
No, thank you.
So that's us. What did you think of that?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
James is a favourite of mine. It was great just to get him on. He's just had a bumper year.
Yeah, he
Just,
has.
you know, with the victory at the Highland Show, which was special, partly because I know him so well and I knew how much he wanted it.
What was? Did you see him that day?
That night,
What was it like?
well, it was a waste of time speaking to him.
Was
Yeah. A few beers gone, and it's one of those ones when everybody's patting you on the back,
Yeah.
and then he was later on that night he was crowd surfing and all sorts of stuff, and it's just a great community because he's so well liked.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy.
So everyone has his back. Yeah.
Even the guys that get beat and all that, and to be fair, that's generally the case in showing. There's never bad blood. No, I'm not saying never. There's not often there's bad blood. It's well done. We'll come. We'll get a drink, and we'll have a laugh about it. And I'll try and beat you next year. So well done to James for a successful year and getting lucky buying that heifer.
Yeah.
And anyone else, just watch the one James bids on next year and just buy it. just outbid him. He's although he's got a lot of stock, he's not got that deeper pockets, so you will be able to beat him. So yeah, no, and that's it. Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. We better head off and do something.
I know. Are you a board game? Would you board game?
Not if I can avoid it, but if it's a family thing that I have to get involved in, then I will.
What about a quiz?
I'd rather do a quiz. Yeah,
okay.
I'd much rather do a quiz.
Quiz and a game of chess?
Nobody to play chess with, I don't think. I could try Lizzie's brother maybe, but I don't think he plays chess. So unfortunately not. But yeah, it's a rare thing, a game of chess. Have you learned it yet?
No, I'm not okay.
That's what I should have got Iona for Christmas. Unfortunately, I got you nothing. And on that cheery note, have a great Christmas, everyone. Mental if you listen to this on Christmas Day, but even if you listen to it after, I hope it's been a good one. Do you want to say anything nice to them?
Sorry. You just normally do the last thing.
Yeah, right, I was. I know I did.
Yeah.
I thought I'd give you a chance there, but you didn't take it, so that's okay. I have been Cammy.
I have been Iona.
And we are both fed by farmers.
Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some